Oh, you guys, you would not be proud of me today. I totally douched out on this woman that I love 2 hours ago. Anyway, I got this mask that I can totally breathe through, and I had to go to my doctor's office. Now, the reality is, I'm very happy that this office is complying with the mandates so that they can stay open. That's the reality. The reality is, thank God, this place is open and helping people, complying with the mandates, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's power in knowing of what could happen. Now, the mask I had was obviously kind of like, you might as well have had a middle finger on it. I mean, you could see my whole mouth through it, and she's like, oh, that's not compliant. So I said, okay, I have another one in my pocket. Now, I was not happy about that. And then when I put the other compliant mask, the one that can't keep a particle, out that's smaller than 0.3 microns, when the thing is 0.12. So, I mean, it doesn't work. They don't work. Like, it's so stupid. Anyway, I douched out. And I'm not proud of it. And, but I gotta tell you, why did I? Well, obviously I was acting in a way that I didn't want to act. Anti-Jedi. I was, angry, which is not real. So it's just fear. So it's totally my contrast. I'll tell you what I said in a second. For those who are like, what did you say? What did you say? I'll tell you in a second. I was so in my contrast. And I just said, you guys better wake up soon. You guys better fucking wake up, or we're going to lose every, freedom and liberty people have fought and died for, and I was shaking my head, and then I went into how, the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay have to wear masks, and how masks have been a form of torture for, dehumanizing torture for like, I lost track of whatever I said, but it was that. And I love this lady. Like, I love this lady. So what happens for people who are empathic is, she was angry that I wasn't compliant. And I was fucking around, with mask crap. Someone's sitting in their car right next to me with a mask on right now. All by themselves. So she was mad I was fucking around, because that's her job. And if they get in trouble and they get shut down, I'm fucking with them. So, I felt her anger, and then I matched the anger. Because, Namaste is not just a pretty thing to say after a yoga class. For some people it is. But, I honor the anger in you with the anger in me. And so I met that anger. And, but she's cooler. She was cooler than I was. Now, not just because she works there, I think. I mean, I think she is, even though she's a total normie, totally brainwashed, she really is. And I love her. She's cooler than me. And, what happened is I go back into the story of, like, good luck, dipshits. You're on your own, man. Like, and I'll just take my abilities and I'll sit in my room and I'll help one person at a time. Because when people come to me for healing, usually they're in a really bad state. Usually. And so they want to hear what I have to say. And that's so I can get them through. So usually when they come to me on, it's like my terms. So I don't go out in public, but I knew while I was doing it that wasn't who I want to be. But I also, at the same time, I'm seeing these young kids, like, there are no rebels. What the, it's like, it's sad, man. It's fucking sad. Now, today's December 19th, I believe. Maybe it's the 18th. It doesn't really matter. I know big things are coming. Probably the Insurrection Act. I know there's a lot of good things happening underneath the reality. But I do, but there's a combination of worrying for the normies and then getting pissed at the normies because they're just in the way and they just don't realize that they're the useful idiots of Agenda 21. But that's no excuse for me to just douche out. So today was my moment. Today was my day to, like, burst out and let it out, like, let the air out of my balloon and get clear on what's going on with me. So what's going on with me is really angry and really sad. So usually if it's one or the other, it's easier. But once you start doing your own work and you practice, then it gets clearer and clearer, and your guides will just tell you you're angry and sad. Angry and sad, and you just wish you had an Airstream and you could go, like, because I'll tell you, if I didn't have children, there's a really good chance that I would just be living in an Airstream somewhere, all by myself, talking to dead people, talking to angels. And, that's not really what my soul's, like, here to do. It's just to, Jesse Lewis, who died on December 14th, he's like, you don't get to know what you know just so you can keep it to yourself or share it with one person at a time. You're supposed to teach. So dead people are always right. They're always right. No matter, he died at what? 8 or 9. And maybe 7. Sorry. Jesse, 7 maybe. So they're always right. So I got clear. I'm angry and sad. Angry and sad. Angry at the normies and sad for them. Okay. And then that doesn't give me the right to behave like a non-Jedi. That's not how I want to be. That's not who I want to be. All right, so I know that I let my ego run the show for a minute, at least. So then once I got clear, I got to apologize, But even my apology was a little douchey because it was like, I started with, I love you. That's like, it's like a wife beater would start like, I love you. So it's kind of a douchey apology. I said, I love you, and I'm sorry for acting like a douche. And she was like, oh, yeah. Now, even though my apology was not perfect, I apologized again at the end. I let my ego start the apology with, I love you. Like, come on. All right. So I know better than that, blah, blah, blah. Today's my day. That was my morning to let some air out. All right, so I'm not going to keep kicking myself, But here's the thing about when you do your own work. You'll still go down to, like, I wasn't in shame 20. I was in more like a guilt, like 30, like a remorse, like, you gotta make amends here, yeah. I know. You know. But it's all fun, you know. And now, even though I douched out on her, like, and apologized twice, you know, there was a thought of, is there a time that I can come to this office where someone else is working? And my soul's like, are you freaking kidding me? No, you're not doing that. That is running away. So at least that, I made an appointment, you know, I'm making appointments for when I can face my friend. Like, I'm going to call her my friend. She hates me. That's totally fine. Totally fine. And, you know, I bless that all day long. Forgive it all day long. And I respect her free will choice. Whether she does or not, it's not on me. But I love her. I apologized for douching out. And now we got, there's an opportunity for me here, not to grovel, not to beg, not to feel guilty, beat myself up with a stick, but to fully respect how she helped us come through it. Okay, so like, you know, if she came out and was like, oh, you know, that woman is a total fraud. She's a psycho or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, I know exactly why she's saying that. And like, that's her prerogative and that's, but, I have love now. And then like by doing your work and coming back out of the, like shaking off the ego and going, okay, that's not who I want to be. You know, I'll still go down to the lower vibrations, say, you know, 30 guilt, whatever. But I come back, the more you do your own work, the more you come back out of those vibrations. So you can come back out. And now when you come back out, you're like, that was a human experience. That was kind of cool. That was a pretty cool human experience. All right. So I guess this is my confession. And it also, in doing my work, it shows me where I need to get stronger. You know, it shows me where I need to get stronger. Oh, my eyes are always puffy. I always have a naked emotion. In that sadness and anger, you know, fear mode, egoic response. I wasn't blessing. I wasn't forgiving. I wasn't respecting anyone's free will choice. You know, and certainly wasn't loving. So it was all egoic, and just a human experience. So by taking my human experience and that whole reactionary thing that I did. Oh, so I did this thing when I was younger one time saying, it's not me, it's just not me. And my mom said, it is you. You have to take responsibility for everything you do, all your actions, all the time. She said, it may not be who you want to be, and that's fine. You can take steps towards never doing that again or whatever. She said, but you can't say, that's not me, because it is you. And you have to just know that when you get pushed to a level or whatever, to that point, then that's what you're going to do. I ended up using that little nugget of wisdom, thanks, Mom, for someone who was going through this relationship. And he was with this girl that really brought out this violent side of him. And he kept saying, it's not me. And I said, it is you. It's what you look like at your breaking point. So every human being has a breaking point. And that's what you look like at your breaking point. You may not like it, but do you want to stay with the person who brings out the worst in you? You know, you keep revisiting your breaking point over and over and over, and you keep thinking, I'm going to do better. But anyway, that's all. That's all I really want to say. All right, so if you douche out here and there, whatever. Bless, forgive, respect your own free will choice, and love yourself, and then provide it to the other person, and you just dust yourself off. You don't have to be perfect to be a renegade yogi. And everybody's got a breaking point. And everybody has an ego. We keep killing the ego all day long. It's always going to resurface. It's constantly being reborn. It's constantly reinventing itself, how it can keep you safe, sane, and secure. You can shed the ego, and you can keep holding the intention, setting the intention to kill the ego over and over and over. But it's like, if you watch the movie The Incredibles, Mr. Incredible learns fights this machine, and every time the machine fights Mr. Incredible, it learns from fighting. So it's like AI. And so every time Mr. Incredible fights this machine, it makes changes, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Your ego's like that. It's like the machine that learns. So the ego, it's so funny because the ego fights against, at the same time it tries to help you. So anyway, all right, that's all I feel like saying. I love you guys. So December, some people are talking about 10 days of darkness, dark winter, crap like that. Just make sure you have like 14 days worth of food on hand. Always keep a running supply of about 14 days of food on hand. Create a meditation practice for yourself, and don't binge too much in social media. All right. Okay. As Mr. Whitewick says, keep your wits about you. Keep your wits about you. Watch your mind, watch your thoughts. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your third eye, working with your third eye, praying and meditation. A lot of people are saying a lot of stuff about these times. It runs the gamut. It's the end of times. Okay, yeah, but maybe it's just the end of a crazy era where all this dirt and crap was hidden, and maybe it's the beginning of like the light coming in, everybody's seeing. I think a lot of people are not going to be able to handle mentally what it's coming out. They're playing whack-a-mole with the truth. YouTube's like ripping down videos, and big tech needs to get their entitlements removed. I mean, you're not a free speech platform, and you shouldn't get the benefits of it. If you're removing people, they're removing lots of people. And I remember that one of the scariest things that I'd ever heard in my life was 2017, when my very, very liberal aunt, vote blue no matter who, it makes me a good person to vote blue no matter who, the same person, I love her so much. She's like, can we just please agree this is the worst president ever? And I said, no. I said, you can rent an infant for $300 an hour. And with that hour, you can rape it and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. She's like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to hear about this. I'm like, it's part of the conversation. Just look up how many pedos were arrested before this president. And then look up how many are arrested now. It tells this huge story. It informs the whole executive order for human rights violations worldwide that put the United States of America, now it's been 3 years, because it was, almost 12/21/17 executive order for human rights violations world freaking wide, and people don't know that their country's in a state of emergency. Okay, now that aunt said, oh, fake news, or what was it? Was it fake news? I forget what they were calling it now. Fake news? It was something about should be removed. So like people putting out information that she said is false. Hill Dog was saying it. Like It was dangerous, fake news or whatever is dangerous. But I'm like, okay, so I guess Trump's going to be the one that decides what's fake. She's like, no. I'm like, why not? He's president. Like, you guys all hate him so much. You hate him so much. And then you want to remove free speech. Okay, so what if the president is the president you hate gets to be the one that decides? No. Well, what do you think's going to happen? How do you not play it out in your head? Like, you just stop trying to control everybody's thoughts. It's so Orwellian. Okay, now I'm working myself up, but this is how it goes. It's so Orwellian. Like, they're rewriting history. They're changing history. They're like the memory hole. I mean, like, read a book. Just read a book. You don't have to read 1984. They made a movie out of it. Watch the George Orwell 1984 movie. It's like, what are you people like looking at? It's so frustrating. And so my little tantrum, while I was coming to terms with I'm really angry and I'm really sad, but my little tantrum was like, I just figured out I'm sideways. Sorry about that. My little tantrum was about, you know what? I'm out. I'm out of this. You're all idiots. Walking by yourselves outside with masks on. I'm watching it right now. Clinging to your little products. Make yourself so healthy as you breathe in your own backwash. It's a clown world, man. It is such a clown world. And, I hope the crap that they're saying is going to happen actually happens. All good stuff. A lot of people are feeling pretty good about it. I hope, but I see a lot of stupid shit. And I mean, it is just stupid. There's no better word for it than effing stupid. So stupid. And that's when you start to think, you know what? You people get what you deserve. You do. And I don't want to think like that. I want to be hopeful, But I got to be more Jedi, that's for sure. I'm going to study the ways of Yoda now. See what I can incorporate into my next book. But I really love my group. I really love you guys. We'll see. We'll see where we are the end of January. Well, we'll see where we are at the end of December. But we'll see where we are at the end of January. And we'll see where we are at the end of April. I guess. That's all we can do. Just gotta love them. Just gotta love the normies. As they take away all of our rights and freedoms that people have fought and died for. It seems like how do we get to a point where people really who have no idea what they're talking about are so sure? How do we get there? I don't want to know. I mean, I know. I watched it happen. I watched it. Still watching it. Maybe it's a forward step for me that it doesn't just make me sad. It also makes me angry. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to work out. Is the anger serving me and moving me forward to actually do something in the physical world instead of just zooming out all the time and going, you guys are fucked. You're all fucked. You're all stupid and you're all fucked. So maybe is the anger, is that pulling me towards doing my path? Maybe. So I'm just rolling along, following my guidance, working on the old third eye. And I just love you guys. And, You people are why I do what I do. Without you guys, you know, without you guys, honestly, and without my kids, dude, I would have nothing to do with the real world. The real world. Really. I'd have nothing to do with it. It's so stupid. It's so obvious. And I'll tell you, I'll say it again, because I didn't finish my Shooting Snakes part 2 after the first one died. The battery died on my thing. If you're going to an intuitive healer that still doesn't get it, like if they're still like, I just have to say Orange Man bad, that is not a healer that was called in. Those of us that were called, like, we see. And I mean, I was a happy airline pilot, making 6 figures, flying big jets all over the world. I was so happy. I was getting paid 6 figures to eat hot fudge sundaes in first class with Jerry Springer and Christina Aguilera. And that was ripped away from me. And how did I get out of that? Napoleon Dynamite, Uncle Rico. I was like, wow, oh my God, I'm Uncle Rico. Coach put me in. I'd have been all state. It's like, I was like, oh, if 9/11 didn't happen. If 9/11 didn't happen, I'd be a captain. So I am where I am, but oh my God. Like, it was so easy to be a pilot compared to what being a mother surrounded by normies. Being a pilot where you just study this. You just study all these books, and then you just do that, and you practice, and you do that over and over, and you just learn it. And then when someone asks you these questions, you just give the answers. And you go in, you do your job, you keep your mouth shut. And then when you're off, for the hours that you're off, I'd go running on the beach. I'd go to there's this place I used to go to for breakfast in LA. There's this salad bar in LA that I used to go to if I was over there. It was like between Redondo Beach and Venice Beach. And I had this little tiny lake house, 780 square feet on the lake house, all these hummingbirds, shooting snakes and drinking wine off my dock and making bubbles. And then I'd fly a big jet across the, and sometimes over to England, or to Buenos Aires. It's like, my life was the shit. It was so great. And I could just go through it. I could just keep my mouth shut. Didn't tell anybody. I could hear dead people. Didn't do any of that. I just flew jets. I was just like, and you know what? Oh my God. There's this question in interviews. What's your biggest downfall? Oh, I'm a perfectionist. Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. Well, it's very debilitating when you're a perfectionist, but I, it's one of my problems. I don't get off the ground because it's got to be perfect before I do it, and I'm afraid it's gonna be imperfect, so I don't do it. That's it's a real deal. Perfectionist tendencies can really hold you back. But in aviation, when you can hold the perfect heading and you can hold your perfect altitude and you have all these instruments and you can hold the perfect ILS glide slope, it's it's made for perfectionists. Flying jets, hands down. As I love being a healer, I love being a mother, but when I was a pilot, it was nice. It was not easy putting up with the dinosaurs and the men who didn't want women in it, blah blah blah. But once you just learn how to go like this in your mind, I guess that's what I have to do. I bought a Harley Davidson t-shirt. And I would join a freaking biker gang if they would let me, but I know I would just be a poser. But I'm telling you, it was so easy, so much easier to be a pilot than it is to be in the normie world. Because as a pilot, my days off where no one was around, go shopping for groceries or whatever. I mean, it was awesome. Now I'm got to be careful. I don't want any mothers in my town to hate me or have some opinion, whatever. Anyway, that's what I'm dealing with today. I hope you're having a great day. And maybe I'll make a Jedi training course. But please, please, please join me on Mighty Networks, Renegade Yogi on Mighty Networks. It looks great so far. It's like going into Facebook without the drama. My page is just like a Facebook page. You can post things. You can talk to each other through there. It's free. I paid for it. So it's not free for me, but it'd be free for you guys. What a great space that is so far. So far, so good. Because, you know, Facebook may get torn apart. Yeah. DARPA ends, Facebook begins. Huh. Isn't that interesting? All right. I do love you. Okay. See ya.